This is our continuing coverage in the trial of Adam Montgomery. Adam Montgomery is facing weapons charges right now. This is his first of two trials. The next trial coming up is for the assumed killing of his 5-year-old daughter. Let's go to the courtroom for segment number 1 of today.
We're ready to begin. Attorney Gotti, whenever you're ready, you may call your next witness.
We'd ask that Mr. Michael Daybell retake the stand.
Good morning, sir. Be careful going around here for me, please. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, would you prefer a reminder or would you prefer me to re-swear in Mr. Daybell?
I'll just remind him. Mr. Daybell, you remain under oath.
Yep. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Daybell.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in again today.
Yep.
We didn't have a chance to finish talking about some of the rest of the video that you had obtained last Friday. So my hope today is to just very briefly go over one last thing where we ended on Friday and then go through a few more of those materials that we looked at on the CDO identified States Exhibit 1. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right. And what I'd like to start with is I believe the last thing that we had done is we were just looking at some video footage that was on one of the tracks of this CD, specifically the Service Desk Overview Monitor track, which runs from 13:55:50 all the way through to 14:29:42. Do you recognize that on the screen, that same video that we watched before?
I do.
Okay. I'd like to play the very beginning of this video again, just for a couple of seconds to reorient us to where we are. And I'll start that from the beginning. So again, what area of the store is this?
This is the service desk.
Okay. And that green item over on the left-hand side.
That is the Eco ATM machine.
Okay. Hold on a second. We seem to be getting a little glitchy here. Just a moment. Start that again. All right, is that better? Easier to see without the pixelation?
Yep.
And I believe you described for us on Friday that Eco ATM, that was for recycling of electronics. People could get money for them.
Correct.
Right. And from this particular video, we had watched this several different minutes, up I believe until almost 29 minutes into the videos. And how long, again, did you say was a typical length of time for somebody to be standing at this machine to do a transaction?
From my understanding, 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10?
Yeah.
Objection, then. Foundation.
I believe we established that on Friday, but I will reestablish foundation. Mr. Dope, how long did you work at Walmart again?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. And during that time period, could you estimate how many people you have seen use that machine?
Maybe 50. And I have also personally used it myself.
How long did it take it when you used it to recycle some of your electronics?
I didn't use it to the fullest extent. I just used it to get an estimate of what it would give me, and it was about 5 minutes to just get the estimate of how much the item was worth.
Okay. And for the 50 or so times you've seen other people make those transactions, how long did it take them on average?
Like I said, about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what they were doing.
So what I'd like to do, rather than rewatching all of this video, the same sections that we saw before, I'm going to fast forward up to 29 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. We'll go to 29 minutes here. Do we still see the same two young women at the Eco ATM that we talked about on Friday?
We do.
On Friday, you also identified a gentleman in a tan hat who you saw come in with them.
Correct.
Can you please let me know if you see that gentleman again on this section of the video? We are now at 29:30 into the video.
I don't see him currently.
Mm-hmm.
I do now.
We're at 29:57 into the video. Is he still wearing the tan hat?
He is.
I'd like to have you review this for approximately 1 more minute, and then I'm going to pause it and ask you a few questions, okay?
Yep.
The gentleman with the tan hat, which way did you see he went?
He went towards the general merchandise entrance.
We're going to pause it here, 31 minutes and 9 seconds into this particular track. You went towards the general merchandise entrance?
Correct.
Okay. And the other young lady that had been there at the kiosk that time before, which direction did she go?
Also in that same direction.
Were you able to, using the recorded footage, see where they went in the store after they disappear off the screen of this camera?
I was.
And was that part of the footage that you provided here on this packet of videos that you gave to the Manchester Police Department?
It was.
Could you describe for me this camera footage? I believe you sent on Friday, but I apologize, I forget the answer. About how high off the ground is this one?
I'd say about 10 feet.
10 feet?
About, yeah.
Are there any videos, are there any cameras within Walmart when you were working there at this time period that cover people's facial features better so we might be able to help identify these folks a little better?
Yes, they're called the public view monitors.
Where are those located?
They're scattered throughout the store, but the ones that I provided were in the health and beauty department.
Okay. And health and beauty department, on the labels on the videos, do they say health and beauty or do they say another name for the ones that came from that section?
I don't remember, but it would either be health and beauty or cosmetics.
Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Okay. With regards to cosmetics then, what I'd like to do is on that exhibit that we talked through on State's Exhibit 1, I'd like to ask, did you review those cameras as well to see where those two other people went, the gentleman in the tan hat and the other young lady?
Yes, any video that I provided, I would have had to personally watch in order to burn it.
Okay. And when you burn these onto the CD, if we were looking at the CD here, is there time signatures on each one of those tracks so we know what time period is captured?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to start then with the track that you listed at the earliest time period, Cosmetics EVPM 6, 12/30/2021. From 14/28/33 through the same date of 14/28/51. The cosmetic section.
Yes,
You see that same gentleman in the tan hat.
we do.
Is that the same young lady with him?
Correct.
How high are these cameras off the ground?
I'd say they're about face level. So it comes down from the ceiling, and it's probably, I would say, maybe a foot above me.
Okay. And how tall are you?
I'm about 5'9".
Okay. So about 5'10" or so?
Yeah.
All right. Play that track one more time. This area of the store, where is it in relationship to that service desk?
It's still in the front end of the store, but it's probably from the general merchant. It's closer to the general merchandise entrance.
General merchandise?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you walk in through that entrance, you take a right, and it's right there.
And at that point, I'd like to go to the next track that you provided to the police department. Cosmetics EPVM 4, 12/30/2021, from 14/28/47 through the same date of 14/29/13. I'll show you that track. And tell us if you can see those same two individuals.
I do.
And what is the relationship of this aisle compared to the last aisle that we just saw?
They're right next to each other.
At this point, I'd like to ask you now about the next track that you provided to the Manchester Police Department, track entitled Cosmetics EVPM 6, 12/30/2021 from 14/29/10 through the same date of 14/29/21. Is this the first aisle that we saw from that first cosmetics track?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the same two individuals here?
I do.
And I believe you said that that aisle that we just saw is directly next to the one that we saw previously.
I believe so, yes.
I'd like to go to the next track that you provided, Cosmetics EVPM 5, 12/30/2021, from 14/29/18 through the same date of 14/32/16. And please let us know if you see those same two individuals. And which aisle does this cover?
This is also cosmetics.
Okay. Is it the same aisle that we just saw a moment ago, but from a different angle, or?
No, this is a different aisle, I believe.
Okay. And do you see the same individual in the tan hat and the young lady with him?
I do.
Would you agree with me? It's fair to say that these cameras are much closer to individuals than those earlier shots over at the service desk?
They are, yes.
The item that the gentleman in the tan hat seems to have in his hand, were you able to identify what that is?
If I remember correctly from one of the frames in the video, it was a prepaid phone, it looked like.
Okay, thank you. And how long does Walmart hold on to these videos? What's the time period of retention on them typically?
It just depends, but it's typically anywhere between a month to 3 months.
Thank you. Now I'd like to show you and ask you questions about the last of the cosmetic tracks that you provided to Manchester Police Department. Cosmetics EVPM 6, 12/30/2021 from 14/32/22 through the same date of 14/33/1. If I could direct your attention to the screen and let us know if you see those same two individuals, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
I do.
And let us know if they reappear on the screen.
They do. And they appeared again.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Doe.
Yep.
Are there any cameras that were closer than that were even closer to an individual's face that you routinely used while you were working at Walmart?
The only ones that I could think that would be closer would be the entrance and the exit cameras.
Okay. And were there any that were kind of in between that close level of view here and the farther away view? Is there kind of like a middle range?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Is there one that was located in an area near razor blades?
Yes.
I'd like to show you one of the other tracks on here that you gave to the Manchester Police Department. The razor blade camera from 14/32/50 all the way through 14/34/31. Is this that middle view that we're talking about?
Yes.
And can you see the individual in the tan hat here?
I can, yes.
Where are they?
They're in the far left aisle.
Far left on the screen here?
Yep.
And if you would, please let us know if you see them reappear.
I do.
And where are they located now?
Not exactly sure what that aisle is, but the one to the right of it is the razor blade aisle, so it'd be the aisle after the razor blades.
Okay. And eventually, were you able to record those individuals leaving the store?
I was, yes.
And I believe you said just a moment ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said there was near the exit, there are cameras that are even closer to an individual to capture their face?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to show you the track that you provided the Manchester Police Department entitled Exit Grocery from the same date with a timestamp of 14:36:25 to 14:36:34 and ask you whether or not you see those two individuals in this video.
Okay. I do.
And these are the same two individuals that you followed through the store from the Eco ATM machine all the way through those other areas of the cosmetics section, near the razor blade aisle, and then to exiting the store.
Correct.
Finish playing it. Now from that, I'd like to finally go back to that last, the first video that we looked at, the service desk video. The individual you saw in kind of that light blue or seafoam colored top there.
Yep.
Did you see her exit with these two individuals, or did she exit separately?
I believe she exits separately. She did not leave with them.
And going back to the service desk interview, I know a moment ago we left off at approximately 31 seconds. I'm going to try with my eyesight to get her up to around 32:55. Is that the same individual still, the Eco ATM?
It is.
When you use an Eco ATM, how do you get the money when you get paid for these devices?
I'm not sure how that part works with the ATM.
Okay. What about for yourself in the experience of having your items assessed for what their value was?
I don't really remember the exact process to the T, but I believe they provide you with a sticker. You put a sticker on it, you put it on the machine, and then it does whatever it does, and then it gives you a value.
Do you recall whether it gave you any paperwork or anything else?
For just the value, it did not.
Okay. And which way is that young woman heading now?
Towards the general merchandise.
Excuse me just for a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Daybell, I appreciate your time. I don't have any further questions for you. I believe defense counsel may have a few.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Caroline Smith, and I only have a few questions. And I know that you said it several times, but what is the date of that video?
I believe it was 12/30.
What year?
2021.
Okay. So it was at the end of 2021.
Correct.
Okay. And a guy that you were tracking through the store with Attorney Agati, he walked in with two females.
Correct.
And went back and forth, was walking around with one female. Sometimes the two females were together at the Echo, and sometimes one was. Okay. And the Echo ATM is essentially a machine that puts a value on the components of the electronics that you're putting in, right?
I believe so. I don't know what the machine exactly does. I don't work for them, so.
Okay. But you've seen people put various, like, smartphones in, and maybe flip phones,
Yep.
and small electronics like iPads.
I believe I've seen that, yeah.
Okay. And whatever reason that they put that in the machine is something that you don't know, right?
Correct.
Why they would do it. Whether it's broken or old or somebody just needs money.
Correct.
Okay. And were you working at that store in October 22nd, 2019?
I was not working there.
Okay. Thank you.
No questions, Your Honor. We'd ask that this witness be excused, please.
You may step down. Any objection to his being excused? All right, sir, you are excused.
Thank you.
That wraps up segment number 1 in the weapons trial of Adam Montgomery, the man accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter. That trial comes up in fall, and we'll cover for you right here. I'm Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.